All right, everyone. We're back. Episode 29 of Stub Luv Live. And tonight we have Mark Brummer on. Mark is a big Detroit Tigers collector. I see he's coming on actually all Detroit teams. Let's get Mark on. It worked, Mark.
Hey, here we go. How's it going?
How you doing? Good to see you.
Good seeing you. I'm glad I can be seen and be seen and see people after that. Actually,
Well, I appreciate you coming on. We got Tom Daly in the house. I saw we have Josh Eisenberg in the house. We got Wheeler's Collectibles in the house. We got Brandon Johnson, I see, just joined. We got everybody coming in. So we're going to be talking tickets. We're going to be talking Detroit. We're going to be talking Tigers, Lions, Pistons, some Red Wings, a little bit of Red Wing action. I see we got top 100 tickets is in. That's Sean Doherty. That's Sean's incognito way of joining, not through I Collect Tickets. I see Scott Foraker, Mark Weaver. I appreciate everyone coming on. So, Mark, I know you from a few of the little deals we've done on boogers, but you've got a pretty big presence on boogers. My understanding from us talking is, you've been doing it for about 6.5 years. So, what started you collecting tickets?
I considered myself a Alan Trammell super collector, and that's basically all I collected. Alan Trammell cards, game used items, little pieces of cheap plastic, newspapers, magazines, anything. I have bins that sit in my basement still, and you get kind of bored with the cards because there's no story to it. There's no I bought it on eBay. That's every card story. I mean,
Yeah.
especially how advanced I was. It was just like there's no buying packs. There's no card show finds at all. So I was actually my second born was in the hospital being born, and my the Carlton fish collector Tony, we were talking about Alan Trammell's debut ticket, and I have a version of it that is probably semi-real.
Okay.
And I probably have it here. And after we were talking, here it is.
Yep. Hold it up a little closer.
Yeah. So it's a full ticket, but it's a written date.
Gotcha. I see it.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
And whatever Booger's post it was, I was in Booger's to find some World Series tickets that relatively kind of hard to find. And Tony walked me through it. He's like, Mark, that's a legitimate ticket. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not PSAable or anything like that, but that's not a fake ticket. You brought it legitimately. And then we were talking. It was during a Super Bowl game, the Philly special game, actually.
Oh yeah, I love that one. It's my
And
favorite.
okay. Oh, there you go. All right. So, well, I wasn't paying close attention because I was talking to Tony, and we were talking, and he's just like, you could, Alan Trammell's your guy. You could, Detroit tickets are easier to find. You could do, the home runs or every game. He does every game of Carlton Fisk's, which is insane.
Yeah.
And that's how it started. And between Tony and Lenny in California and Rick Taylor, I was up to 50% within 2 months. I mean, it was quick.
Wow.
And then it went from there. I mean,
So Tony Swan is the Carlton Fisk collector.
yeah,
He's huge.
right.
Been doing it a long time. Rick Taylor is Baltimore Orioles specialist.
But
and
Cal Ripken.
And Cal Ripken for sure. Yeah, and Lenny is, Lenny Sterren of Buckner fame on eBay, and everyone's bought from him. So you've built this collection of Alan Trammell. Let's hold off and talk about that a little later because that's a focus of your collection.
Right.
What other than Trammell tickets is Mark Brummer collecting?
So After a while, it dries up, and you get bored. And so I started dabbling in 1984 tickets mainly because I would collect them, hoping and trading with this one or two guys that had these tickets that I wanted, still want. And so I ended up having 110 of these 1984 Tigers tickets. So then it became, okay, I'm just going to collect these now because there's only 60 left. And then there was the 1984 Tigers debut. Now, the 1984 Tigers was the last World Series they won, the only one in my lifetime. I was 5. I don't remember it that well, or barely, if at all. But it's the team of of guys my age. And so 1984 Tigers. Then my team, when I really got back into baseball after college, was the 2006 Tigers. Now they were supposed to be a nothing team, and Jim Leland, Hall of Fame member this year, kind of turned them around in 1 year. After my guy Alan Trammell washed out in 3 years as manager,
Yeah.
so I started collecting those player debuts. So that's Verlander, Ordoñez,
So
Pudge,
are you collecting their major league debuts or their Detroit
major
debuts?
league debuts.
Got
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, um, and then there's a bunch of side collections. So I my first tickets I ever collected were the Tigers championship World Series clinchers, and so then it's like, oh, I'll do the Lions. I got the key one of the Lions in 1935, which yeah, it's a rare ticket. And I'm like, okay, I can get the other three. The Pistons, same thing. I mean, the Bad Boys Pistons. I'm a fair weather basketball and hockey fan. I mean, I'll be completely honest, but I'm not. Well, the Pistons are so bad, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
um, but I mean, I lived with those teams, with the Isaiah teams, and then with the second with the Ben Wallace teams
Yeah.
too. So anything that spoke to me Detroit wise is what I collect. And then I'm a Michigan graduate. I lived, when I was 12, 13, Fab Five was the thing, the absolute thing. And then always been a Michigan football fan through my dad and my brother, forever. So any key games that I remember, or the Heisman years of Desmond Howard and Woodson, the championship years, those were tickets I was going to grab, and they're, easily obtainable too. So those are quick collections to finish.
It's cool.
So
Yeah. So you
yeah,
got a lot
lots of
of
little
good
things.
stuff. Yeah, you're doing a lot. I see that Doug Reiser joined. He's game used. Tickets to History joined. I saw Hefty Sports was in here for a little bit. We got Balltown 12. That's Mark Townsend. Motor City tickets. Well, we know what he collects, and I know that he's a good collector. So I want to talk to you a little bit about something recently that happened to you, Mark. So you and I were trying to hook up so I could get a little background on Mark Brummer before you came on the show. And I reached out to you, had a tough day at work. And I reached out to you on Monday of this week. And I said, hey, Mark, are you able to talk? You're like, no, I'm going to the Tigers game.
Yeah.
Tigers actually playing my Phillies. We took 2 of 3 from you. Haha. But nonetheless, Phillies are playing pretty good.
Yeah.
That happened to be a game where the Phillies turned a triple play.
Right.
And I talked to you a little bit about it, and I said, A, were there hard tickets to the game? B, when that triple play happened, were people kind of like freaking a little bit and calling you like, hey, are you at the game? Can you pick up some hard tickets? Or, and then were there other tickets that you could find at the stadium, or weren't you even paying attention to it?
So it's funny. I mean, I have 2 kids. I was with my wife and my 8 and 6 year old. So it's dad time, not ticket time. And I'm like, and I was in the stands. I was like, whoa! It was the first time I've seen a triple play in person. I've been to hundreds of games. I've seen 2,000-3,000 hits. I've seen haven't seen no hitter yet, but it's been close. I'm like, oh, I've never seen a triple play in person. Cool, It didn't, it didn't occur to me. I'm like, yeah. I mean, I'm like, I have my 2 tickets that I get from my season ticket, that I make them print for me, and I didn't really. I was just like, whatever, and I wasn't on boogers, and then you know, and then I saw a ticket on the ground, which was strange. It was
Yeah.
in the row right in front of me. I was like, okay, I'll pick it up, and I'll have it. We met a little league player at the game. I was like, he's a huge Phillies fan. He was excited that Harper went deep. I'm like, I'll give it to that kid. He's on my little league team, and I was like, I'll give that ticket to that kid later. And then I was like, then I get home at boogers. I'm like, what's going on? Like, I knew triple plays were semi-collectible, but it wasn't like, oh, it was a 135. Okay, it hadn't been 95 years,
Yep.
and there's 5 or 6 people wanting it, and I'm like, oh, I guess I could have went out and bought 6 or 7 of them and been fine, But
Yeah.
I wasn't really thinking about it, and that's kind of how it goes. I mean, I
Yeah.
wasn't.
I saw someone on Booger's post that they had a few, and I think the people who wanted them, the 4, 5, 6 collectors, probably got them, and he
Yeah,
was charging about $50. So good for
yeah.
them.
I mean, I decided I was going to keep one of my nice ones, and then I sold the other one within minutes,
Yeah.
and then I still have the one that picked off the ground. So
Yeah.
it's not.
Little, little, little league kid ain't gonna get it, huh?
No, I don't think so. I'm sure someone will take it off me in the next couple of weeks or
Yeah.
so, or I'll
Yeah.
just be like, ah,
So I want to talk to you a little bit too about what you're kind of doing with your collecting. So you started off collecting Alan Trammell home run tickets,
right.
and you told me the number, and I didn't write it down on my paper. I think I did write it down. There's
Oh,
185 Alan
right.
Trammell home, and
Yes.
Mark Brummer, who has been doing this for 6.5 years, has 180
Yeah.
of them. So that goes to show you that someone who is incredibly dedicated to ticket collecting and filling that list, completing that list, you're still short, and we're almost 7 years out.
Right. Um, and honestly, I'm kind of, uh, who knows if I'm ahead of schedule, but in my mind, I'm right on schedule. Tony told me you'd be 10 years. And, you never know on those last 4 or 5. And right now, he's on the money, in my opinion. And, but I mean, like these collections from the 70s and 80s, once you get to 70%, then then you're digging. Then it's, everyone is a celebration. Um,
When's the last time, Mark, you picked one up?
I I try not to think about that question, but when you asked that in an interview, I think it was 2 Decembers ago, so it's about a year and a half
Oh my God, are you serious?
for a Trammell home run. Now you augment that, I just picked up a Larry Herndon debut, super hard ticket to find, St. Louis, low attendance. About 3 months ago, one of the key '84 Tiger
Mhm.
players. It was the last starter I actually needed, so that was a big ticket for me, and I was excited to get it. I overpaid for it, but it is what it is. um,
Yeah, that's okay. For,
yeah,
for a collection like that, that's okay. So have you missed on any of the 5
have I actually missed? No, well,
that you're aware of, at
the,
least?
there's one ticket that people own that I haven't been able to trade or buy. There's another 1984 Tigers collector. I need 8 tickets for the, and this guy Jim's been doing it for, he said, 15 years. He's down to 3 now. A lot of it's my help. That I've knocked out so many for him in the last 6 years because I'm in Detroit, he's in Florida. He needed home tickets, or my connections are just a little better than his, and I've knocked some out for him. But there's one ticket that I bought it from a guy. He said he had it. It was a guy I've done a lot of business with. He's local. And after a week, he just told me, Mark, I can't find it. I have it. I know I have it, but I can't find it.
My God.
And so it was like, okay. I mean, what do you do with it? I mean, it's like, you refund my money, and that's it. And he said, when I find it, we'll do it again. But that's the and it's 5/8/84, so it's an '84 ticket too. So I'm missing it for both collections. And it's actually part of the Tigers went 35-5 that year, kind of famously in Detroit. That's the one ticket from 35-5, the first 4 games I don't have as well. So it's actually a 3 spot of what I'm collecting, and it's
Wow.
tough. But it's like that's a ticket out of the 5 tickets. That's the only one I know exists that someone has, and I can't pry it from someone.
Yeah. That's tough. That's tough. That's really tough. I see Brian Shields. Shields Collects is in Montreal Expos tickets. He's a good guy. Happy that he's joined. See Jim Markey in. Jim's going to be a guest before the National. Jim sets up at the National, and he's a great collector. So I'm glad that he jumped in. So you've got the Alan Trammell home runs. You started to collect the 1984, the totality of the
Yep.
162 games. How many games are you short on?
Uh, 7 or 8,
Hmm.
depending on how you want to talk about a written ticket.
When's the last time you grabbed one of those?
2 months ago. It
Okay.
was it was the last home game too. It was a big ticket to find, so I was done with the home games because it was an Easter Sunday snow game, low attendance in the snow. It was just and it was great because we got 3 of them, and the other guy Jim in Florida I talked about needed 2, so we filled his want list. Um,
Wow.
so we got good 3 of them from this dealer I deal with, and local guy. And so yeah, that was a good week.
That's
Have a
great.
good so
That's great. Good stuff. So I have here down from my notes, you started to collect Barry Sanders stuff, other Detroit teams. You have the World Series clinchers. You did 1984, 35, and 45. Am I correct? Are my notes
yeah,
correct?
35. The championships are 35, 45, and 68 and 84.
So I saw that you were posting some tickets on Instagram today,
Yeah,
and we talked a little bit. Do you have that Barry Sanders debut that you can show? You have a
yeah,
raw Barry debut.
yeah. I do. Here it is.
So I don't know. Yeah, yeah, pull back. Perfect. Wow. Yeah, I don't know what the PSA pop is, but it's not
It's
big.
like 2 or 3 last time I checked, and I've had Little League golf for like 4 or 5 months now, so I'm not, you know,
Yeah.
um, in my, of so I'm in Detroit, and it's a ticket that people look for, obviously. Of the season ticket, I can probably count them on my hand of how many I know of. There's the 1 or 2 or 3 that got PSA'd. One I just sold this year. There's an old guy who has a beautiful one that he's not online. Let's put it that way. And he's got a beautiful, gorgeous one. But like yeah, it's
It's
that I
tough,
think there are 4 or 5 season tickets I've seen.
yeah, tough. So when did you get yours? And if you don't mind
Uh,
me asking, like, was this something you bought when you first started collecting and stole from somebody or picked up for a really good price?
Well, so I was probably 2.5 years ago. It was December. Um, I was just talking about that old gentleman that he's not online. I met him at a card show. He was talking tickets with someone. And I kind of eavesdropped, and we just got to talking. And he had some Tigers tickets that people needed or I needed, and so we met, and he showed me his Barry, and I'm like, "Hey, I've never seen." It was at the point I had never seen a season ticket before. I didn't even know what it looked like,
Wow.
and I'm like, "Wow, that's amazing." He even had it torn properly because that's how he did it. And then, sure enough, the next card show is sitting on the dealer's table in a stack of Lions tickets, and I said, "How much for the stack?" And he said, $100, and I'm like, "Here you go."
Oh
And then I took
my God,
I took
Mark.
the whole stack, and I was just like, and that was it. I hope he's not watching. I deal with these guys all the time. It was the one time I was just like, I didn't like, and it was also I didn't know, I had no idea the value either until
Yeah.
after. It was there was speculation because what people were asking for at the time, and then 2.5 years ago, that was just coming out of COVID, and the prices were crazy. And I'm like, well, I
Yeah.
think this is the right ticket, and it is, and it is
Wow.
what it is.
Tickets to History says OMG, and I'm thinking OMG as well. Geez, good for you. That's a great find. Is
Yeah.
that your best find ever, ticket wise?
Um. Um. There's a couple, probably, probably for my collection. Yes. For resale, no. I mean, I there's this. I've had some guys bring it. These shows have ticket binders, even on the last day, and there's just huge pi- binders of Pistons and Lions tickets. And the Lions ticket binder had, here you go, this guy.
Oh my gosh, really?
It had
Brady
actually
debut.
it actually had 2 of them. It had in a box office, and and it had basically 90% of the tickets of Lions tickets from 74 to 2003.
What did you pay for that, Mark? Can I ask?
Yeah, like $700
For the whole
for
box.
the whole
And
binder.
it had
Yeah,
and it had two Brady season ticket debuts.
yeah. Well, no, one was a box. One, the I could, if I get up, I can pull it, but it's the um
I know exactly what
yeah,
you're talking about. Wow.
there's yeah, and the next or the month before he had a Pistons binder of the same thing. It was kind of and it was just like I mean $700 at a little card show is not nothing either. I mean,
Yeah,
but but for the Pistons, I was just like, oh, there's Malice, the Malice at the Palace ticket, which I probably didn't pull.
that's a great.
And I'm like, well, I can that ticket's worth $7, and I'll just have fun with the rest.
Yeah,
So those 2 months were my
yeah.
biggest.
Picks up a Barry Sanders debut for $100
Yeah,
and a booklet of Lions tickets that has two Brady
right.
debuts in it for $700.
Yeah,
The good old days,
yeah.
Mark. The good
I don't
old
want to
days.
out my dealers too, because I'm friends with all those guys, and I do treat them right for the most part. But um,
Hey, if they put a price on it,
yeah, I
it's
mean,
buyer beware. Yeah,
yeah, I mean at that
seller
point,
beware.
I mean it's not a you know.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you don't have to tell them anything. It's they're big boys.
Right.
Got good for you. So show some other stuff. I know you have. I think the last championship to the Lions. I don't know if you have that
Okay,
there.
that's at
Uh,
PSA, unfortunately.
okay. So show us some stuff. I know you have some cool stuff, and I want to see your
Okay.
goodies. Let's.
Wow, 20 minutes goes fast.
Yeah, it does go fast. Yeah.
So I don't PSA a lot of things, so I usually keep it in binders. But trying to show you a binder is probably not a great idea. So the Wings Avalanche rivalry had that ESPN show, so I kind of put together the key tickets.
Wow.
So the Wings fans don't like to admit this, but there was a nasty hit Maltby on foot the game before. So that's the first one, and then that's the Draper hit, which kind of but the Wings fans think started everything.
Yep.
Then you got Fight Night at the
Yep.
show. You got the second one. Then you got the Osgood Wah fight,
Yeah.
and then every Wings fan likes this one because this is the 7-0 kick the extra point against Wah to finish him off in 2002. Um, so
You know what? Honestly, Mark, the coolest thing about that, and I love that 90s
yeah,
hockey. I mean, it was tremendous, and that rivalry was about as good as they come.
right,
But I just love the fact, Mark, that you've got it in an album page. You
right.
know?
I like looking at my tickets, and like I'll sit here and watch a game or football especially where I'm kind of bored, or a baseball game, and I'll flip through my tickets and like, oh yeah, and it's kind of more collectible. It's accessible to me. Um, and my Trammell home runs, let's be honest, no one really wants them besides me. So
Well, you know what? I think she should probably get that Barry in a slab, though. I mean, but
yeah,
one day, one day. So what
um,
else do you have there? I know you were posting a lot of great
yeah.
stuff today.
So that's the Morris no hitter. That's probably the key ticket from
Yeah,
1984.
that's a full
That's
wow.
a full. I think it's highest or second highest. I don't, you know. Um, let's see. The Verlander debut. So this was a makeup game. So it's really tough for a 2005 ticket to have the right date and time. It was a split doubleheader, and so um, that's a really tough ticket.
Wow. I see.
Um,
Just let me interrupt you
yeah.
for a. I see we got Gary Carter tickets in the house. We got Justin Sutterfield, Kobe _, Ruth _. We actually had for a minute there. We had Jordan Gilroy in the house. He's from Leland's, and he's putting together some amazing stuff for their auctions. But go ahead, Mark. Show us some other
So
stuff.
the here's the key Lions ticket, 1935. I think this is the second one. It's a three.
Wow.
I mean, it's a beautiful ticket, championship, first title, which kind of keyed the Lions, championship run, and
Do you know what the PSA pop report
I
is
think
on
it's
that?
2 last time I checked.
How long
Maybe
ago did
3.
you pick that up?
What?
How long ago did you pick that up?
That was right in the middle of COVID because I think I had COVID at the time. um, so yeah,
Wow,
2020, 2021.
cool.
Um,
What about the
there's
Pistons stuff? You got some Piston stuff for it?
um, and
You you
it's
got you got Motor City tickets and treasures going
okay.
crazy. Absolute fire. Absolute heat
Um,
from Mark Brummer.
so here's the Detroit ticket. WrestleMania 3.
Big one. Yeah, Pontiac Silverdome. Hogan slams the
Yep.
Giant. Big.
Um,
Look at the way he just
oh, here's,
he's got it. He's got it in a little, nothing holder, and he's flipping it around like it's nothing. That's a
I
fifteen
won't
hundred
tell you what
dollar
I
ticket,
paid
Mark.
for it. Here's the 71 All-Star game full.
That's awesome. So that's the Reggie Jackson.
Yep.
Is that 523-foot
Yep.
home run off the tower, off the
Yep.
water tower?
Yep.
Tom
Let's see.
Daly asking any Fidrich tickets.
Um, oh, I don't really. I've sold them. Like, there's always bigger Fidrich fans than me. It wasn't, I wasn't alive, and it
Yeah,
was one of my first autographs. But here's the Billy Goat game.
yeah, just sitting in a plastic nothing.
Actually, usually it's just in a binder. I mean, it's. I mean,
You
I
you
know.
you dressed it up for us tonight
Yeah.
because you knew
Oh,
you were
I knew I was
taking
gonna
them
have to
out.
handle it quickly. I wasn't going to show you the binder.
Great.
Pistons. Well, here's a Fab Five ticket. I had a fight for. That's their first time starting together.
Wow. So
Um,
that's a
at
Notre Dame ticket.
Notre Dame. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I have a debut, and if you look at my Instagram, it's framed. It's just, I can't really show it because it's tough
So
to walk with the phone.
so the debut is the first time they ever
Right.
played together. Fab Five.
Yeah. So all the players played in the first game. They didn't play. They played to get the first time they played together was against Eastern in the second or third game. And then the first time they started was this Notre Dame.
Started as
So
the Fab
started,
Five. Is that Notre Dame?
yeah, they were in the starting lineup.
Let me ask you, Mark, before you show us anything else, like what's a ticket like that go for?
The Fab Five,
Yeah,
like 300-400
yeah,
if you can find one. This one's beat up, and I still, it was 200 and some trade value.
yeah.
Um,
Great ticket.
let's see. This is one of my your little questionnaire jogged my memory on this one. This was, a ticket that you would never sell. Billy Martin pulls his lineup from a hat to break a losing streak.
I've seen that before. That's pretty cool. Yeah,
Yeah, this is one of those,
yeah. Hey, you got
fun
some
stuff.
fans here, Mark. You got Justin. Mark is the man! Exclamation point. So that's coming from Sutterfield too,
I
man.
don't know. Justin spent too much money with me. That's why.
He's trying to butter you up for the
Yeah,
next deal.
that's Trammell's first home run full. I was lucky to find that one.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd have to get up to.
No, that's all right. You don't have to.
Yeah,
You don't have to run. You showed us some really cool stuff. So let me ask you this,
this
Mark. Let's transition.
disco.
Oh yeah, the disco. Yeah,
Yeah,
disco demo. So let's transition a little bit. So
yeah,
really cool stuff. Clearly you're like an old school collector. A lot of people really respect that, especially on booger stubs. I hear people all the time talking about slamming tickets is like putting them in these plastic coffins, and why in the world would you do that when you can put them in binders or keep them in top
right.
loaders and enjoy them and have fun with them and look at them and display them. And I get all sides of it, and I'm happy to talk to guys like you. It's really a whole heck of a lot of fun. On that same topic, we talked a little bit about tickets 6.5 years ago, and I think you used the word. I think I used the word. It's niche now. Back then, it was really niche,
Yeah,
and I think you used the word. It it was like amateur hour. It was like
Yeah.
really amateur.
No, it was boogers and everything was collectors. It wasn't like, I mean, there was don't get me wrong, there was people there where money was being made. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't. I mean, Tony was giving me tickets. Mark Prilick was giving me tickets. And it was more of like, hey, start collecting tickets so you can find some for me.
Gotcha.
and
Gotcha.
and and then really about 2.5 years into it, or around COVID, it just skyrocketed. I mean, it was like, okay, tickets became a thing. Like, I mean, I saw Brady's debuts go for $20,000. You're like, what? I mean, I've turned down Brady's in those first 2 years for $800.
Wow. So let me ask you, Mark,
Hmm.
and I'm going to call you an old school ticket collector because 2.5 years still kind of makes you old school. Do you like that about it, or did you not like that about it? That it became more, I don't know, mainstream, more about money, and as opposed to just pure collecting.
Um, it was it was tougher for me because I really, the first couple years, I didn't even think about flipping. I'm like, oh, yeah, I can make money on a ticket, but I wouldn't even buy it. I mean, either it was for my collection or it wasn't. And obviously, you don't take a vow of poverty or anything on this stuff. Or as one guy said to me, another ticket guy, he's just like, Mark, if you see a 20 on the ground, do you pick it up? I'm like, yeah. It's like, what's the difference on you selling a ticket when you see it on a table for 20? You know you can get 100.
Pick it up.
You at least you have knowledge of that. He's like, yeah. I'm like, damn it, you're right. I mean,
Yeah.
and then a lot of the dealers, um, they started to know me and realize if you give me a box of tickets, I write them a check, at the end of the month for $1,000, and they're just happy because they don't do any work and they're just and and
Wow.
I sell to you and I sell to everyone else.
Yeah.
But to
Wow.
answer your question, sorry, I kind of accepted it because I couldn't change it, but it really kind of bugged me now looking back because it feels like the stuff I want, no one's looking for anymore. It's like no one's like doing what I do, where I have hundreds of Detroit Tigers tickets and or thousands of Detroit Tigers tickets, hundreds of Wings tickets, hundreds, and people come to me, hey, I need the state, and I'm like, okay, cool, here it is, $10, move on. But like, it doesn't feel like that's happening anymore. Where it's just like, oh, there's not keepers of Rangers tickets and Royals tickets, or
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I still collect that stuff for my Phillies and my
right,
Philadelphia team. I like the milestones if they're Philadelphia related or if they're debuts of players that I grew up with, even if they're not big names. I was
right.
pretty happy to pick up a Mickey Morandini debut.
Oh, nice. I
Yeah,
know who he is.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
That's
and well,
that's
that's
great.
the thing with the '84 Tigers too. Is like, hey, I'm asking about a Mike Laga ticket, a debut ticket, or Glenn Abbott. And you're like, what?
Well, that's what makes it so good. That's what makes it good. I see History and Tickets joined us, and that's kind of a new name, I think, to us. So I'm hoping that I recognize him and uh,
Yeah,
call him out. Yeah. So let me ask you this, Mark. We were talking a little bit before, and Gary Carter Tickets said that. He makes a good point. That's where the beauty is, and quite candidly, Mark, I agree. The beauty's in finding the ones that mean a lot to you, but may not mean a lot to
right,
everybody else. And that's most of the fun.
right. And that's absolutely the fun of it because, and some of it is, um, I would buy a lot, or or these dealers would give me a lot, and I go through these tickets, and that's the fun. I'm sitting here watching the game. I'm doing research. And I found, you find I found the one behind me is like Tom Selleck's at bat for the Tigers.
Right.
I don't know why I was looking for a spring training box score, but it was in a lot. I'm like, oh my goodness, I
Yeah,
found a Tom Selleck at bat.
that's great.
It wasn't any. I was like, yeah, that's something I'm just going to keep because who wants that? And it turns out lots of people actually want that, but
Yeah,
now
for
they're
sure.
not getting it. Now I know the date, and I think I was just looking for a spring training home run of Trammell. That's usually what I do for when
Yeah.
I find a spring training ticket. But or there was a Pistons ticket. It was a playoff ticket. It was like the microwave game where Danny Ainge gave Vinnie Johnson the nickname microwave,
Wow.
and I was
Cool.
like, oh, this is cool. But I mean, so it's like part of it's the fun is the research and
Yeah.
in finding the value where no, I mean, I remember a recent ticket, the Taylor Swift Miami Dolphins Thanksgiving
Yep.
game, and that's a $10 ticket for the Lions. Okay, it's kind of common, and then we put Taylor Swift on it, and all of a sudden people wanted a little more.
Yeah. It's 100, 150
It's a
bucks.
$150 ticket
Yeah.
now, and you're like,
Yeah.
and
It's
I'm like,
crazy. Well, in talking to you, the best thing that came out of that conversation that you and I had, at least my perspective, was I said to you, I said, how do you grow your ticket collection? And, what's your tip to people? And you're like, just be nice.
yeah,
Just,
it's the Roadhouse thing. It's
yeah.
the
Yeah.
turned up. Be nice, and also the local dealers know, and it's like I hope the story doesn't get out but bury it, but I tend to treat them right. I'm like, hey, that ticket's this, it's worth this. I'll give you this,
Yeah.
and most of the time they're
They're cool with
and
you. Yeah. Yeah.
and but also I was just um you have to build relationships with people because I can't find a Mariners ticket. I want to find two of them for Trammell. I need two Mariners tickets. Well, you got to find the Griffey guy who needs Griffey home runs, or because they're going to have those connections that you're not. I actually so on eBay I have like these listings that says Detroit Tigers tickets. Ask a date, you know, give a date. I'll look. And they're $10-15 tickets. If I have it, you know, and last times, it's unfortunately flippers who are asking for, hey, I want Jose Canseco or Jose McGuire's first home
Right.
run or Samuel's debut. You get the ones where you're like, I know what that ticket is, buddy. So that's all right.
Yeah.
But a lot of time when it's not a birthday or first game, which is also fine, I'm happy to fill those needs for people. You
Yeah.
get you get these collectors going, hey, do you have? And it just happened. This Brett Saberhagen collector, he's just starting out. He's like, he bought a ticket from me from 1984, Tigers '84 ticket, Tigers Royals. And then he asked me about Saberhagen's first win. It was in Detroit in April 19th, early game ticket. It was actually a makeup of a rainout game. So there's no 419 game. And I had to tell him, like, hey, here's the deal. That game doesn't exist. Like, Jim's been looking for the '84 ticket's been looking for 15 years. I haven't seen one. It's you need the original date, which is 417. I don't have an extra, but that's what you need to do. And he's like, oh, that's cool. And I was telling him about my collection, of course. And I'm like,
Yeah.
because he's a Royals guy. I'm like, hey, I need Royals tickets. Lots of people need tickets,
Yeah.
you know. And he's just like,
Jeremy Shuey.
yeah. And we got to talking. And he's just like, man. And he's like, I could, Saberhagen had like 180 wins. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty close to Trammell's 100. It's kind of similar. You got the, but you live in Kansas. Your dad lives in Kansas City, and I guess he worked for the Royals. And I was son, you kind of build a relationship
Yeah.
and a contact. I was like, hey, if you clap Hagen tickets, guess what? You're going to try to find my Trammell tickets and hopefully Tony's Fist tickets and Rick's Ripken's tickets
Yeah.
and the and we're getting them started. So and then sure enough, next card show, guess what I find at a card show? Full Saberhagen win #1 ticket, beautiful.
Wow.
And I bought it for
He
20 and
he
said,
owes you. He owes
yeah,
you.
I bought it for 20 and I said it's 25 shipped. Have fun, like
Awesome.
yeah.
So be nice and reciprocate. That's what
Yeah.
you.
It's ticket karma too. It is, I swear to God, when I find 5 or 6 tickets for some people, all of a sudden one comes my way randomly that,
Yeah.
you'd never.
I like that. I like that. All right. Well, let's run the gauntlet. I don't know if you ever watched an episode because you're
Nope.
new to the show. So the gauntlet's a little bit of fun. Nothing crazy. Just ask you some questions and you give me your answer and we run with it a little bit. We
Okay, do
kind
you want explanations or
no,
just
no. We
no,
just
okay.
if I asked you a why, you'll tell me. But
But
stub or full?
oh, stub.
Yeah, you're an old school guy, man. You got to go stub.
I want I want yeah, okay. Sorry.
PSA, Beckett, or no slab at all?
I showed you a lot of slabs, but no slab at all.
Yeah, I know. I know. Debuts or moments?
Ooh.
Or neither?
Oh, I like the moments better. Yeah, the debuts are more valuable. But I like moments. I mean, for my collection.
Would you rather spend the day with Alan Trammell or Barry
Oh,
Sanders?
it's Alan Trammell, not even.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Should Lou Whitaker make the Hall of Fame?
Yes, but Morris shouldn't have. But that,
So yes or no?
yes, yes, and Whitaker, but Morris should not have.
Okay.
Not that much
All
of a
right.
homer.
All right. So no Jack Morris, but yes to Lou
Yeah.
Whitaker. Okay. What's the bounty, Mark Brummer, for the 5 Trammell home run tickets you still need?
I don't want to
Firstborn,
say it. I don't want to
giving
get
up
bit
your
up.
wife. What are you doing? What's on the table?
Okay, I don't know. I did this for the one guy who. So the ticket I bought that I talked about, and then he couldn't find. The agreement was $500.
Wow. All right. Well, what we like you to do, I think you do it every so often because you're on the show. Post the 5 on boogers. We'll keep our eyes open, and if I find them, I'm not going to charge you the $5. But God bless you, Mark. You know,
It's 84 ticket too. That's the other 4 are not 84 tickets, so not much other demand besides me.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, Mark, I really appreciate you coming on, showing your stuff, talking to us. Good to have an old school guy on, even though you're not that old, but doing it super long. But always good to talk to new folks. So thank you so much for coming on. Episode 29 of Stub Luv Live with Mark Brummer. Thanks, everyone, for watching.
Thank you.
We'll see you, Mark. Bye-bye.